Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you wanna talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the South. It's Eric Hatfield and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station. To hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready for you better not miss. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker B. Check this out, man. I like that right there.
Yeah.
How you doing? Welcome to the Louisiana All American Sports Show. You're tuned in with Joker P, a.k.a. Gerard Piper. It's July 11th, and I want to welcome you to WHYR in Baton Rouge. It's the Louisiana All American Sports Show, and I'm joined here today with my co-host.
This is Eric Hatfield, and let's get it on. We're just so fresh, so clean.
Yeah, I like that. That's what's up, man. Big shout out to Coach Perry Daniels. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us today, but he's out the nation capital doing what he do, and we want to give a big shout out to my boy. Get straight to it, man.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead to the high school area. Little news breaking in. First of all, in a few minutes we're going to have Garrick Mayweather of the McKinley High School Alumni Association join us. There's a big community event going on. Piper, of course, is a McKinley. Actually, I'm the only one who didn't go to McKinley, and I always call myself an adopted alum between the professor and Perry and Piper.
That's right. You in with us.
It's big blue territory in here. But he'll be joining us shortly. Big community event going on today. I had a chance to join for a little bit last year. A lot of fun, but I won't steal his thunder. Scotlandville High School football coach Eric Randall has resigned to accept the assistant principal job in at Baker High School. Coach Randall, of course, led the Scotlandville Hornets, the football Hornets, to a playoff victory last year. This is a team that's pretty good in the regular season, but come postseason, they've had a lot of struggles, very little success. Scotlandville advanced, and I think, if I remember correctly, they lost in a close second-round game, so good for the Hornets and Coach Randall, but he'll be moving on. Coach Randall said that he accepted the assistant principal job, in Baker. Eric Randall, by the way, that is the former Southern University quarterback, if you recall, when they won when there used to be the mythical black college football national championship between the SWAC and MEAC champions. Randall was on that team back in 1993, if I remember correctly. But anyway, he's accepting the assistant principal job in Baker. He said he's going to have a chance to watch his children participate in their sports. He has a daughter in track, I believe, and a son playing football or basketball.
That's what's up.
So he's stepping down to deal with family issues, and it's going to be too bad he's not going to be on the sideline molding those young kids. But hey, families first, and coaching will be there long after his kids are grown.
Yes, indeed.
So, in other news, we just wanted to kind of give you guys a refresh because high school sports and football season in particular is right around the corner. We've talked about a few athletes. We talk about several athletes every week here on Louisiana All American Sports. Wanted to bounce a couple of names off of y'all that we discussed a few times last year who we will be seeing next year. These young men are going to be seniors in the upcoming football season. And here we go. Number 6 recruit in Louisiana, Shaheem Carter, cornerback for the Kentwood Kangaroos. He is also a quarterback at Kentwood. He is 6 feet tall, 190 pounds. He is committed to Alabama. Shaheem Carter.
This guy play. You remember?
We sure did. Wow. Shaheem Carter. LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com brought you the I believe it was a second-round playoff game between the Southern Lab Kittens and the Kentwood Kangaroos. Actually, it was a regular season finale. It was to decide the District 6-1A championship. It was a season finale. Shaheem Carter really stood out in what was otherwise a pretty one-sided Southern Lab victory, but he was exceptional, and I guess that kind of explains some of the exceptional play we saw. Number 6 recruit in the state overall. Very talented young man. I wish him a very successful senior season. Also, among top recruits in the Baton Rouge area, guys. We've discussed with you here, on Louisiana All American Sports or on LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com. Game of the week. That's better than a drum roll. We have of the number 42 recruit in the state of Louisiana, Trey Jackson, cornerback, University High, and we talked about him. He made some impact plays a couple of times last year against Port Allen, and there was also another District 7-3A game we brought you. It's escaping my memory, but Trey Jackson, he's not committed yet. And he is 5'10", 160 pounds, number 42 recruit in the state. We will definitely keep an eye on where that young fella is going. And also another name we brought to you is Malcolm Roach of Madison Prep Academy in the Division IV state semifinal against Southern Lab, and also in one of their regular season contests. He really stood out. This guy's a defensive end. He's a really big kid, 6'4", 245 pounds. He plays mainly defense, but he will come in on offense every now and then. Also plays basketball. He's also on the state championship basketball team. Good athlete. Malcolm Roach, number 36 recruit in the state of Louisiana. He is also uncommitted to date. On the hardwood.
What about, did you get a chance to see Vladrick?
I did not see Bladrick Veal of the Southern Lab Kittens quarterback. I didn't see him in the top 50. A very talented kid. I don't know if recruiters are listening or not, but I'll tell you, if you're looking for somebody, Southern Lab is a smaller school, but this is a tall kid. I'm going to guess he's about 6'5", very slim but muscular, strong guy, good arm, makes good decisions, good athlete. He's also a basketball player. If you college recruiters are out there, you need to watch this kid play. He personally is my favorite high school athlete to watch. He's just a good kid.
Yeah, we like him.
I really like the kid, and but I think also he can help out some program at the next level.
Hey, Eric, speaking on high school sports, and here at LAAS, Louisiana All American Sports, we've been covering high school, and we want to be the premier broadcast to bring you high school sports here. We're going to have a big announcement that's going to come here real soon for you guys and to the listeners out there, and I think it's going to open the doorway up for our listeners out there to be able to join in on us. But we're going to save that little nugget, but just kind of want to let everybody know that we got some breaking news is going to be coming here pretty soon, so stay tuned.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's when I should have had it.
Yeah, I know, huh? On the hardwood, some other players we brought to you who are also high recruits who will be seniors next year. Cameron Lard of Natchitoches Central. He was the center for the Natchitoches Central Wildcat. I believe they're the Wildcats against the Scotlandville Hornets in the 5A state championship. While it was a losing effort, Cameron Lard stood out. He was just ballerific. He is the number 4 recruit in the state of Louisiana. The number 6 recruit, I'm not seeing a commitment here by his name, number 6 recruit, Skylar Mays of U-High, actually is no longer at U-High. He transferred to a prep school in Nevada, but he was the number 6th ranked recruit in the state of Louisiana, so we will continue to bring you updates on him if we hear about any commit of point guard Skylar Mays. Very talented guy, and also another player, Wade Sims. We talked to you about him several times. He's was more of a defensive presence in the games we saw, the couple of Port Allen games and the game against Madison Prep. But Wade Sims, another top recruit, number 8 recruit in the state. He is already committed. He's also of U-High. I should have said that first. Small forward. He has committed to LSU, to my great delight, of course. So a lot of news, and we will keep you posted on all those young men. But now for the big announcement, I guess. I want to get this out early so people have time to tweet us and call us and text us.
Yes, indeed.
So here we go.
Let's go with it, man. I already heard about it, man, and I'm ecstatic about it. But
look, Louisiana All American Sports will be bringing you high school football next fall here on 96.9 FM WHYR Baton Rouge Community Radio, and well, there we go. I knew the crowd would be delighted to hear that. And also, that's one piece of good news. But the other piece of good news is there's an opportunity for you, the listeners, to get involved. We need, Piper and I, of course, handle the play-by-play and color of all the broadcasts. If you listen to any of them online at LouisianaAllAmericanSports.com. But hey, we don't have an extra set of hands. We can't. It's not the Jetsons. It's not 2015 like in Back to the Future where we can teleport back and forth to the studio. We need a live body right here to be the air traffic controller, a board operator. No experience necessary. We'll train. It's a volunteer position. We all do this for the love. But hey, if you want to be on the periphery of sports broadcasting with a chance to get into witness the biz, and of course, I'm sure we'll let you chit chat a little bit with us on the Louisiana All American Sports Show. Hey, give us a call. You can reach my cell phone at area code. A couple of ways to get a hold of us. My cell phone number, this is Eric Hatfield, area code 504-616-8167. Again, that's area code 504-616-8167. You can also find me on Facebook. Look up Eric Hatfield. You can look up Louisiana All American Sports on Facebook. Again, it's Louisiana All American Sports. Type it in, it'll go straight to it. Also, you can send us a tweet, and we'll get back to you. Our Twitter handle is at LAA Sports. Again, that's at LAA Sports. And again, my cell phone is 504-616-8167 if you're interested in volunteering to join the Louisiana All-American Sports team to bring the community high school football, top-rate high school football in the 2015 LHSAA season.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So, that is all I've got for the high school circuit right now. We're still waiting on Mr.
Still waiting on
Gerard.
Mr. Mayweather for the call. But in the meanwhile, I did have a little something for the play today, the song of the day, and I kind of wanted to take it back with a lot of the stuff that's been going on. That reminds me of this guy, one of the legends in the game, one of the best lyricists in the game, probably one of the top 5. And I'm going to, kick it with him and one of the top 5 lyricists, ladies, to join him in the game. So I want you to check this out and enjoy this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
Life, I wonder, will it take me under? I don't know.
If I ruled the world,
Baby, yes indeed. If I Ruled the World by Nas and Lauryn Hill. That's a very classic song right there, and that goes out to all the listeners out there from the hashtag LAAS Louisiana All American Sports Show here with Joker P, aka Gerard Piper, and Eric Hatfield. Now, back to what's going on today. Today, I had a chance this morning to watch Serena Williams win her 4th straight major title this year to complete what they call the Serena Slam. And wow, what an accomplishment, man. She came out. She started out a little bit rusty. I think the nerves and just the pressure of the moment was kind of getting to her a little bit. She came out a little rusty, got broken the first set, if anybody knows what that means. But, she was able to come back, compose herself, and take her game to another level. And, man, she's just off the charts, man. It's just amazing at the age that she's at. I think she's like 34 years old, I want to say.
I said 34 last week. Actually, she's 33. And she's on a tear, Joker, the likes of which it's just incredible for an individual sport. Her 4th straight major. I remember last year around this time I was having a kind of a debate with a friend of mine, Lonnie Smith, about how Serena is really becoming arguably the greatest women's player of all time, and his position was arguably. How can you say arguably, blah, 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 and you still had your Steffi Grafs and Maggie Courts of the world and Martina Navratilova, but with this tear, at this age, ripping off 4 straight majors, another Wimbledon, it's absolutely incredible. A total of 38 Grand Slam titles now. When you consider how competitive the world of women's professional tennis is nowadays, I think it's incredible and it's unprecedented.
It is.
Like you pointed out, she was down 4-2 in the first set, then ripped off 4 straight sets. Then she was up 5-2, kind of let the upstart Gabby, not Gabby, I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly, Garbine Muguruza. Muguruza, yeah, that's it. Muguruza, to come back into the match. She's a 20th ranked player in the world from Spain, 21 years old, and she just made this 21-year-old look like the baby she was when Serena was 21. The run she's on is absolutely incredible, and big kudos to Serena Williams. And the thing is, she seems like she's still going. She's at her peak right now. I don't remember a stretch like this she's had as great as her career has been, where she's just, she's ripped off another Serena Slam. She might get the true Grand Slam. I think there's the
U.S. Open.
There's the U.S. and the French, I believe. Right? The Australian.
Well, she has one more to get what they call
So it's the U.S. Open in September?
Yeah, she has one more.
One more, okay.
And that'd be the U.S. Open. That's complete, the yearly Grand Slam.
So yeah,
but
which would be that's just incredible.
Yeah, and only one person done that in 27 years. It was Steffi Graf was
right.
the last person to do it. 22 years, I want to say. But I totally agree with you. What's so amazing to me with Serena Williams is that we saw the athleticism when she came in. You can just see that her serve is on miles per hour is on the pace of men, pretty much. I think she can beat some men.
Well, I think she could be. She could be me.
Right. I think she could beat.
She might be able to beat some of the guys in the lower 100.
Yeah,
I think when you start looking at the speed and strength of guys like your Roger Federers and your Novak Djokovic's.
Not at all. No. But I mean, for her to be at 121, 122.
That is crazy.
As a female. But to me, we all saw her athleticism when she first came in. But it seemed now that her maturity has kind of caught up with that, and she still is on another level physically, but now she has a maturity because when she was young, she used to just use her physicality on her, and sometimes her mental mistakes would catch up with her. But now it just seemed like it just all came together at the right time, and age is not affecting her. I can see her winning 5 more majors, easy.
I think she can.
She's one behind Steffi Graf. Steffi Graf has 23. She now has 22. She's going to try to tie Steffi Graf here at the U.S. Open, and that'll be 23. And then she would be the number 1 player. She, has 24. Of course, she'd be the number 1 player in the Open era. But
right. Maggie Court was.
But that was like in 1800s or something.
It wasn't that long ago. I think her last one was in the 70s. But to your point, it would be pretty darn incredible.
I meant for Court. Margaret Court.
Yeah. No, I think that would be pretty amazing. But yeah, man. Look, I think she's got. Look, Jimmy Connors came close to winning Wimbledon at age 39 back in the day, back in the 90s. So, and as great as Jimmy Connors was, I think Serena's more dominant on her level. So I think she has a lot of time left to pile up a whole lot more major wins.
It's just amazing how when we look at stuff, especially when we look at historical stuff, we compare athletes from the past to the present, and it's kind of hard to do because you have to take so many things in account. The only 2 sports I look at that pretty much kind of, I won't say stay the same, but it's hard to compare. I mean, it's easy to compare, I would say, and that is like track. Like 100 meters, it's going to be 100 meters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't get too, you can't differentiate too much in that. Or like boxing, it's just 2 men getting in the ring. But rules and stuff like football, basketball, all these other sports, the rules change.
Right.
Everything, the dimensions of the game change.
Baseball, not so much. But I got your point.
But you know what I mean? But track is going to be, hey, we shoot the gun, you run 100 yards, and we're going to see who's the fastest person. So, But other than that, I like when we compare, older people to LeBron James, to the Michael Jordans, or back in the 80s and that type of thing. But that's
great barbershop conversation,
man. Exactly, and that's what we do here on Louisiana All American Sports. We also want to tell you that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say just a side note. Maggie Court's last Grand Slam win was in 1973. So this was almost entirely before the Open
How many
era.
does she have? Can you pull it up?
62.
62 what?
Yeah, 62 Grand Slam titles.
Really?
But
Can't be that many.
But only.
Can't be that.
Only 24 is singles.
Right.
So
she has
24 is singles.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Because I know they were saying today that Serena had a chance to catch Court.
Yeah.
And so.
She's there now. I mean, now that I'm putting these numbers together, she's Serena Williams is just what. That should put her. That should put her ahead. No, she's only chasing Steffi Graf now.
Yeah. She's was number 3 was Chris Everett and had 18, and I think Navratilova had 18. They're tied at 18 for a single Grand Slam. So hey, kudos to Serena Williams, man, to be able to all that pressure on her. She was there.
21st overall major. Okay, so she's 3 back of Court. I got it. I was reading the wrong. She's won 28 straight matches, not. Which is 21 overall major titles. Sorry about that, folks. I got my I's and Q's, my P's and Q's crossed. 21 overall majors, so she needs 3 more to catch Maggie Court, 1 to catch Steffi Graf.
Yeah, Steffi's at 22.
Yep.
And when she can, so we're going to see, man. Good luck to her, and we're going to support her here at Louisiana All American Sports, not only for her tennis play.
Yes, indeed.
We're definitely going to support her.
I would gladly support Serena Williams
and all her assets.
Yeah, with this. She's got a lot of assets.
Yeah.
A lot of asses. Very wealthy young woman. All right, you're making me misbehave.
Very healthy. Yeah.
Moving on to the college game.
Let's get to the college scene, man. It's been kind of
before we get kicked off the air, man.
Right. But we're going to rebound because we're going to talk about females too in this sense. Hey, man, it ain't been looking too good for Florida State here.
No. We're celebrating our women on one hand, and then we look at another story that makes us seem like cavemen. DeAndre Johnson, projected starting quarterback of the Florida State Seminoles football team, was in an altercation last week at a Tallahassee area bar. The video's gone viral if you haven't seen it yet. I'll let you all search it. It should not be too hard to find, but in essence, I know. My reaction exactly. You would think after the Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson, although that was a different angle, that, guys with
Jameis Winston rape
allegations, right? Just you keep a low profile. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, you want to kind of stay down. And DeAndre Johnson didn't do that. He was in an altercation. It looked like the young woman took a swipe at him. According to Mr. Johnson, she dropped an N-bomb on him. After a few swipes, DeAndre Johnson pulled the Floyd Mayweather and decked her. Now, I'll give her credit. She took it like a champ. She seems like she must be a tough girl.
She did.
Because she stayed standing up.
She kind of bobbed and she took it and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what he's supposed to do is, when you get heated, they say you're supposed to count to yourself. Yeah. Count down backwards. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You don't smash a 21-year-old woman's face in is about half your size. Look. There's two sides to this coin. Let me say this. You don't ever hit a woman. In case I wasn't clear on that the first time, you don't ever hit a woman. And in case you think you should hit a woman, you don't ever hit a woman. Let me be very, very clear on that because I do not want to be misunderstood. However, when you poke a bear, when you go and you're dealing and you call a 19-year-old college student who's been in a bar, probably drinking alcohol, who's about twice your size, you drop the N-bomb and you agitate him. If you do that enough times, it doesn't make it right, but you're probably going to get a punch in the face. I have a right to go down Plank Road and go into some of the rougher neighborhoods at 3 in the morning and wave a bunch of Benjamins while wearing an Armani suit.
That's right.
I have a right, but eventually I'm going to get robbed. And I shouldn't be surprised. And it's the same principle here. She's swinging on this guy and throwing the ultimate verbal gasoline bomb. Look, you don't ever hit a woman for the 4th time. I cannot emphasize it enough. But there is a level of personal responsibility here, and let this be a lesson that you don't know who you're stepping to, and you got to, good, bad, right, or wrong, you got to try to mitigate some of your dangers, some of your circumstances, Piper.
Man, most definitely. Hey, it was a sad event, but, we're getting into an issue now where it's a very, very sensitive subject to talk about. It's been going on with the athletes and females. This is actually the second incident. DeJuan Cook also, the day after, he just got suspended from the Florida State Seminoles for hitting a woman.
And Jimbo Fisher must have thought it was Groundhog Day.
Right, I know, man. The day after, and one is on videotape. And after the fallout of the Ray Rice incident and the videotape and just the way things have gone on, these players have got to know better than that. But on the other hand, like you said, I don't believe at all in hitting a woman, not at all, for no reason, really. But on the other hand, like you were saying, I believe that everybody really should keep their hands to themselves. We need to teach a little bit more that, hey, we want to teach our men not to put their hands on our women, but we also want to start teaching the women to not put their hands on the men. When you have a person and you're in a heated discussion, or when you have young people and you have alcohol involved, you're at a bar, and the way the tension seems to have been going now with a lot of the social events that's been going on in the world today, man, it's just like it's just a boiling point. You know what I mean? It's like bad things are going to happen. And so I think we have to have more adult people to step up and be able to get these kids more aware. It just seems like these young kids are not even aware. It's like, come on, man, you're supposed to have more sense than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's like they teach us this in kindergarten, preschool, first grade, second grade. You keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
Your right to swing your hands ends when another person's nose begins.
Right, and but the opportunity that these guys, mess up, man. We was just talking about this before the show aired. I was telling Eric about how, which is not right, but, some guys who don't have the opportunity, or the guys that's in urban areas, or, so quote, in quote unquote the hood, hey, they messing up opportunities. I can kind of understand they don't really have too much, but to get an opportunity to play at a major school, or to be in a chance to be able to make millions of dollars and to do what these guys are doing, is just, it's just like, it's triple the times worse, to me. And that's how I look at it,
Area code 225-343-9927. 225-343-9927. If you want to get in on the conversation with us here at Louisiana All American Sports. Look, I agree with everything you just said. It's really unfortunate. And, these guys, DeAndre Johnson was kicked off of the team, which makes me wonder what other incidents he had that didn't come to life, because as we've seen with Jameis Winston and other FSU players and LSU players for that matter in the past, Jimbo Fisher does not have a quick hook with picking anybody up.
I just thought about that. And what's his name?
Jimbo, the coach?
No, the guy again. What was his name?
Jameis Winston?
No, the guy got kicked out of the team.
Oh, DeAndre Johnson.
Yeah. DeAndre Johnson, DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, I was good. You stole my thunder there, man. I was gonna say some DeAndre J's.
Right, some DJs.
we got some DJs there. I'll move on from that one. But that's just a difficult situation. We will keep you posted if any other news breaks from that. But moving on to the National Basketball Association. DeAndre Jordan of the Los Angeles Clippers. Well, he's always been of the Los Angeles Clippers. We just didn't know it until earlier this week. I'll let you run with that one, Joker, since you brought it up last week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just look at it like, a lot of people is catching a lot of flack behind not giving a courtesy call to Mark Cuban, or not, handling things, quote unquote, the right way, and this and that. And really, I have no problem with the way he handled it, because I was joking with a friend of mine who was talking about how what if Mark Cuban seen DeAndre Jordan with a hoodie on, standing across the street?
Well, he probably would cross the street, and then he might see a guy with a white hood on and cross back across the street and ask DeAndre for help. And DeAndre might tell him to go fly a kite, so he'd have to go back across the street and then probably turn the other way once he realized he was in a pickle. Yeah, look, people beat up on Perry's beat up on Mark Cuban this a lot, but you know what? We ask people to be honest and say what they think. Well, he said what he thought. He got beaten up because of it. I don't think he's alone, and I don't think he's the only. How should I put this? I think there are other people that might look like DeAndre Jordan who think the same way if they saw a brother coming down the street with a hoodie. So, I'm not going to pick on old Cuban for just saying what I think a lot of people. We had the Fixer on the same day, and Perry was like, what do you think about that? The Fixer said, well, I'd have crossed the street too. So, whole different subject there.
Right, whole different subject there. But I was just joking, making a little joke. But it's really not about Mark Cuban. It's really about just the owner and the player. And does the player have an obligated right to be able to tell the owner every move he's going to make, or face-to-face and everything like that? And I get that. I understand that part of it. But it's been instances where the owner or a player find out he's traded on Twitter, or owner looks the player in the face and say, hey, you're not going to be traded. And then here comes the trade deadline, and that player, I changed my mind, we're going to go in a different direction. So to me, sometimes you don't owe a person a courtesy call, none of that. To me, hey, sometimes no contact or no response is the best response. It may be even a easier way to go, because sometimes it's almost like a breakup with a girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes if I try to give a courtesy, it'll just make it worse. You know what I mean? Yeah. They'll get to one to asking, and Mark Cuban probably would have got to begging him, no, Jordan, please.
He might up the ante.
Come on back to, I'll give you $90 million. And, well, man, I'm just trying to call and tell you I changed my mind. Well, no, so instead of go through all that, he just was like, you know what? I'm just going to cut it short.
Sometimes it's better just to flee the country.
Right. And I was saying, sometimes it's better to, you work on your job. Sometimes you give some jobs, you give them a 2-week notice. You know what I mean? Some jobs you already have something lined up, you just don't show up the next day. It's like, what happened to him?
The message is the same.
Yeah, the message is the same. Hey, you paid me, I worked, it was even Steven. Fair exchange, no robbery. Hey, but seriously though, at the end of the day, he never left the Clippers. So it's not like he betrayed Dallas or nothing. He gave a verbal agreement and said, hey, and I heard a guy on TV was talking about, I'm from the day where you shake a guy's hand, look him in the eye.
Well, that day is over.
And when you tell him that, you have to honor that. Like, this guy, if he have a change of heart, well, because I shook his hand, I'm actually going to have to go through 5 years or something of I really don't want to do with my family just because, I'm going to stand. Come on, man.
Man, look, we've officially gotten into the silly season. If we're talking about, was a handshake and did he call him? It doesn't matter if he called him or not. He could have called him. He could have put the U-Haul right in front of his apartment in Dallas and packed it right in front of Mark Cuban as he's telling him either way he's playing in Los Angeles.
Right.
So let me just say, I personally...
Had it look better? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have done that. I probably would have done that.
I would have done it too. I would have called him, let him be a man, and just said, hey, I'm staying in L.A.
There's a standard I always hear about it. Well, in 10 years, will it matter? I don't think this will matter in 10 weeks. When the ball goes up in the only time it might matter is on Christmas when they play. Once the ball goes up in the air in late October, it doesn't matter. He's playing for the Clippers. End of story.
Right.
I mean, we are in the silly season of media. If we were talking about, well, he shook his hand and did he call? Who cares if he called him? Who cares if you own the DeAndre Jordan, Clippers Jordan? Yeah.
This is not about Mark Cuban. This is about what I think I need to do for me and my family. It's not about appeasing Mark Cuban. This is about me, man.
Right.
So don't get mad at me because I'm choosing to do what I feel like was right for me.
Now, there is a broader issue here that goes beyond DeAndre Jordan, and that is the league itself, the domino effect, and that's something the NBA should address, its rules on the moratorium and the quiet period, and I don't think the league wants this to happen again. I don't think this is good for the league. It's not going to
happen again. Me and Coach was talking about this actually before the show, too. It's not going to happen again. Maybe at the next collective bargaining agreement, they're going to sit down and try to close this loophole because it gives the players a little bit of, control. And you know what it's about. And now they're talking about the money that Ballmer has given DeAndre Jordan because he actually got more money. Got $88 million from the Clippers. He was only going to get $80 million with the Dallas Mavericks. And Chandler Parsons coming out saying that DeAndre Jordan is scared to be a franchise player, and so it then kind of it got a little ugly here. I'm
not even going to say it's untrue, but again, it doesn't matter because he's playing in Los Angeles,
Right. So I just look at it as they're talking about is he worth all the money, and why would the owner this and that? Hey, that owner can pay $88 million and have 30 contracts like that for the work that he paid $2.3 billion.
Right, he paid
for
a
that
lot.
team. So,
Man, let me tell you something, man. Steve, I think Mark Cuban might have found this to be a blessing in disguise. I thought, even last week when the story broke, I thought it was a little strange that, look, DeAndre Jordan's a heck of a player.
Right.
He is one of the best, he's not the best defensive player in the league. He's up there, and of course he's going to put the ball in the hole because he's so strong down low. But I never thought this guy was a franchise player. I thought he was an offensively weaker version of Dwight Howard who has a lot of deficiencies on offense.
Right.
Quite frankly, I think Steve Ballmer's going to get his money worth because the Clippers, in my opinion, cannot compete for a championship without DeAndre Jordan on that team, and I think he did Cuban a favor, although he's got a problem on his hands next year, but he did Cuban a favor saving him money because I don't think he was going to get that max contract value on the offensive end that he thought he was going to get out of DeAndre Jordan.
It actually worked out for him. If you really look at it, was it a ploy from the beginning to get the,
I think Cuban wants what he wants.
I'm just being. But to me, actually, what he reminds me of, exactly. I should have had the dramatic music. Man, I slipped again. But anyway, look, what he is to me is Ben Wallace, Dennis Rodman type of player. Great defense, great rebounding, block shots.
He can actually get to the basket.
Yeah, he can get to the basket and dunk and everything like that. Dennis Rodman could too. Dennis Rodman could run that floor though.
Yeah.
But he can't shoot free throws.
He's a liability.
He's nowhere near.
He's worse than Shaq, and Shaq was terrible.
Right. And Shaq was terrible, but he's nowhere near to be a Shaq type player. They kept saying he's going to be the Shaq in Dallas, and Cuban selling them that, we're going to build a franchise around him, which he's not Shaq, man. Come on now.
No, he's not.
Shaq was 30 points a game.
Shaq was
15.
once Shaq got the ball in the paint, it was over. You were going to get hurt trying to get to him. And until he was fat and old, and you might be able to grab his arm. Maybe. He was bulletproof in the first 10 years of his career. That's why he was so great. And DeAndre Jordan, he's strong. I mean, he's strong to quite strong in the post, but he has no shot. When I say no shot, I mean he didn't even have that jump hook that Shaq developed as he came along in the career. Yeah, he started as he got older, he started to get that spin move, the hook. Shaq hit half of his free throws, which is bad, but it's better than 40-something%. I think Cuban might. There's always, you hear about blessings in disguise, and I think this might have been a blessing in disguise for Mark.
But real Cuban. Quick then, since we all know, like you said, he's playing at Clippers. That's a done deal. Who do you got in the West now, especially with the LaMarcus Aldridge and David West going to the Spurs?
Well, I still think the split's over in the West. I mean, I think I think the Spurs, you might as well just pencil them. It might as well be LeBron versus San Antonio Part 5, right now. I mean, or Part 4. You might as well put them in the finals now. That's ridiculous. You already have a team that was all, the same core of the defending champions last year, right? And they lost in the first round, but LA is not exactly a typical first-round team. They could have been the number 2 seed. Anyway, you have a team that was still the core of the defending champs from 2014, still together. Now you add an all-star in LaMarcus Aldridge, arguably a top 10 player, and David West is not what he used to be, but man, from 17 feet in, he's money, good defensive player, former all-star. For the league minimum, it's over. I often say, barring injury, you can have a couple of injuries with that team. They're still going to be in the finals, man. It's ridiculous.
And they can rest Tim Duncan a lot more now.
Exactly.
Just save him up for the playoffs.
Oh,
you got David West, and you got LaMarcus Aldridge. What's surprising to me is it seems now that San Antonio was never really a popular team to me to seem to get a lot of big free agents to come down there because of the small market. But just because of the winning, they have attracted, and Popovich. Now they got to the point where people look at them now. They are a player in the game for his free agency. They used to have to get get players that other guys didn't notice. Pop was good at, seeing raw talent and then bringing them in and developing them and putting them in his system, and they would work out fine. But now, bam, that's about the biggest free agent I've seen them ever get, pretty much. So it's just like, wow, you know what I mean? I'm definitely going to pencil them in, too. I got, but, man, look at what the West is going to have. Then you got Durant coming back with Oklahoma City. Then you got, like we said, DeAndre Jordan. He's back with the Clippers. And then we got
WHYR.
The defending champion, the Golden State Warriors, with Stephen Curry. And, man, also we even got Anthony Davis, even with the Pelicans. I think they're going to step up this year. They made a good run in the playoffs this year. I thought they had good experience. I thought Anthony Davis was really needed that. I thought everybody's going to take their lumps. His first time in the playoffs, he was an 8 seed going against the number 1 seed. So I think he'll be fine. I think the experience was great for him. So how we looking over there on your end? Well, what we got? Look like we got somebody, like we got a caller.
Dun 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 dun. Dun.
Yeah,
we have.
Go ahead on. Let me get a little mute. That's my man right there. I got to get something going on for him. Oh, yes, indeed. I got to introduce my man.
On the phone, we have, ladies and gentlemen, we have
what we got?
The head of the McKinley High School Alumni Association, Mr. Garrett Mayweather.
Yeah. All right. How's it going, my brother?
Oh, man. We're down here setting up for the picnic. Right now we have probably about 15 classes now setting up. And it smells good down here in the bottom.
Oh, man, that's what's up, man. Man, grateful to hear your voice, man. So won't you tell everybody what time it's going to start and what time everything is, complete?
Everything is physically starting at 1 o'clock. We'll be here all the way till it's dark, and then we have an overflow at a party at the Alumni Center this evening tonight. So we're going to have a good time all day. It's like we're union out here right now.
Yes, indeed, man. I got to join or pass by for a couple hours last year. It is one heck of a party. If you're a McKinley alumni, you need to go today, at least for an hour or two. It's a lot of fun. I didn't even know anybody, and I had a good time last year. But, hey, I'm not going to steal your thunder. Tell the community, all the particulars. Tell them what they need to know.
Oh, man. We just call hopping from table to table. Everybody sees everybody here. It's a wonderful time. We're doing some talk tonight. We're moving it over to the Alumni Center.
Okay. Well, is it for people that I know before the picnic, certain people was paying tickets to be able to get in. So, is it an admission for the general public, or how's that working?
Well, I mean, it's $15 to get into the gate. We're accepting alumni, but McKinley has such a rich history here that, if you didn't go to McKinley High School and get somewhere else, your grandparents are going to have similar connection with McKinley High School. So we're asking everybody to come out, pay you $15. If you don't have the $15, come look for me, and I'll take care of it.
Repeat that one more time, only because you're on Mr. Mayweather's calling us on a cell phone. We had a little bit of buzzing there. Just say that one more time for the listeners in case they couldn't hear you too well.
We're asking everyone. Everyone has McKinley blood in them that we believe. That's what we say. Everyone has McKinley blood in them. It's from $15. If you can't get in, come look for Mayweather across the 92 table, and we'll get you in the door.
So $15 $15 to get in. $15, and if it's taxing on you because we all work for a living, find Mr. Garrick Mayweather at the class of 1992 table. He'll take care of you. They're trying to emphasize community involvement there. Tell the audience, I guess, some other activities that are going on with the McKinley Alumni Association since we have you on the line.
We have a lot of things going on. We have our homecoming thing every year. We have food giveaways. We get clothes giveaways. And before school starts, we're gonna have a uniform giveaway for not just for the kids that go to the film area, but throughout the East Side and East Parish. So just be looking out for what we will for sure get with you guys and let you know about all the giveaways that we have going on.
Well, that's what's up, man. You most definitely. We surely appreciate it, man, because I'm definitely going to come down there and find the 92 alumni table because I definitely want to play. What they got down there? What kind of food?
We have pigs, we have meatballs, we have chicken wings. Just fried fish, everything. We have some of that blue juice that some guys make. It's good.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Everybody can see it. Come on down.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, Mr. Mayweather, thank you.
He's on the ones and twos. We have Charles Smith on the ones and twos with this group, so I know you know Charles.
Right.
Charles, say the name one more time on the ones. Who's DJing today?
Charles Smith.
Charles Smith, the DJ on the ones and twos. Coach, Mr. Mayweather, of course, you know we're a sports show, so, we've been talking about, we always like to give our guests an opportunity to weigh in on the hot topics of the day. So a couple of things we're talking about is the NBA free agency with DeAndre Jordan and also the Wimbledon with Serena winning again. If you want to chime in on that and get your 2 cents in, I know you're busy setting up the picnic, but if you want to get your 2 cents in, it's a chance to shine.
Okay, can you repeat it real fast for today?
Can you give us your opinion on either the DeAndre Jordan or did you hear about the Florida State guys? Or either the Serena Williams, the Wimbledon?
Oh, Serena is putting it down for it. I'm a big fan. She's doing great things, so far as DeAndre, I hadn't read too much about it. What was the last topic?
The last topic was the Florida State. Did you hear about the quarterback that got got arrested?
Yeah, I briefly read about that. I briefly read about that. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, what exactly happened? He hit a young lady?
Yeah,
That's
he hit
correct.
a young lady. It was two of them, actually. It was DeJuan Cook, the freshman running back that was leading rushing. That he got charged, and then DeAndre Johnson. He was going to be the starting quarterback this year. He was on video. He was in a bar, and white girl called him the N-word, and he hit her, and so,
I think, because I went through that situation, not me personally within the altercation, but I think a lot of these young guys, when they go to the schools, and it could be a D1 school or a 1AA school or whatever it is, I think someone, they have to have a mentorship program for these youngsters, because it's very easy to get caught up.
Exactly.
They have to do it better. You can't put it on the school the whole time, but we have to. Somehow there's a link missing with these youngsters. And they're young, they're 18, 19 years old. And I was that age before. You feel invincible. But you really have to calm yourself down because you got to be responsible for your actions.
Right.
You learn to walk away. I've been in a situation where we had altercation. I went to ULL, and I just had to walk away. It's a difficult thing to do because you're pride.
Right.
Sometimes you got to get the community together. So it's unfortunate. I wish we could stop that because these young guys can have a future and a lot more things than just playing ball. But some of them have NFL careers that they're giving up. That they're giving up when they take action like that. So.
Couldn't agree with you. Very well said, Mr. Mayweather. And we did not coach Mr. Mayweather on that. It's funny you said that because that's very similar to what we said just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, man. And these young kids today, they need to stop. They need to really stop this.
We need to settle their nerves a little bit. Mr. Mayweather, I know you got a lot to do with set up that picnic, and I appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time today on Louisiana All American Sports. We are a proud partner with the McKinley Panthers and McKinley Athletics, and we will be seeing you guys, I'm sure, very, very frequently and very shortly. Thanks a bunch, Mr. Mayweather. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'll see you down there, buddy.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Later.
That was Mr. Garrick Mayweather, head of the McKinley High School Alumni Association here in Baton Rouge. Coming up in 11 minutes on 96.9 FM, we have Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction here on WHYR-LP, Baton Rouge Community Radio. So, also around the world of sports, in the National Football League. Boy, oh boy.
Man,
well,
there's been a lot going on with that too, man.
When we line up in the fall and we bring you the New York Giants and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there might be some omissions from that we had last season that we did not quite have this season. Jason Pierre-Paul, the Pro Bowl defensive end for the New York Giants, who is set to sign a 5-year, $60 million contract literally any day now, had a U-Haul truck full of fireworks that he wanted to set off as part of the 4th of July celebrations. Unfortunately, he injured himself and broke his thumb, but that's not the big news. He had to have his right index finger amputated. It was kind of a Ronnie Lott move in that it would have taken, he could have missed possibly the entire season, in which he was going to get paid $12, $15, $14, $16 million. So he said, lop it off. Personally, you could not pay me $16 million for my index finger, but it's not worth $16 million. Nonetheless, he had it amputated. Very unfortunate about playing with fireworks. I think Johnny Manziel probably tweeted him and said, you know what, I've learned from your mistake. I'm never going to give anybody the finger again. But it got worse as C.J. Wilson, who was an unrestricted rookie free agent who played with the Buccaneers last year. He was making just north of $500,000 a year, had to work his behind off just to get into the NFL. He blew 2 fingers off in the 4th of July, and at cornerback as opposed to defensive end, that could be a career-threatening injury. That's even more tragic. Guys, I understand you like your fireworks, but if your body's your moneymaker, to me, it's just not worth the big explosion. There's only one big explosion that's even that men should be, that I would expect to hear men being that foolish about. Fireworks and M80s ain't one of them.
That's good, man. That's good. Wow, man. But you probably can get by with 1, but 2?
Yeah, at cornerback, that's going to be tough. I mean, you know, we were talking about this on Thursday. I mean, maybe a guy with the talent of Richard Sherman or Earl Thomas or Darrell Reeves, you might be able to move them to safety because of their coverability, and they could probably still knock somebody's head off, probably still pick off a few passes depending on which fingers got taken off. Right. But these elite defenders would probably become role players. This poor Mr. Wilson, this guy had, like I said, had a scratch and claw just to get into the NFL. At cornerback, you're missing 2 fingers. That's going to be, man, I hope his career's not over, but just common sense is telling me his career is probably over. It's really tragic.
I hope it ain't his 2 thumbs.
Oh, God, I hope not. I really hope not. Just you can't. If there was any one finger I did not want to lose, it's my thumb. My index finger would be probably number 2, but my thumb is number 1. You know, that's
thumb number 1.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, it's over.
You can't eat. You can't tweet.
You can't do nothing else. Yeah.
You wrong. Oh, I'm so glad we're not streaming here on Ustream with video, because Piper would get us in trouble. The FCC would be a calling. My goodness.
There's a lot of things you can't do.
It's a slow season in sports. So
I know, man. Babe, but speaking of the NFL, I want to get your opinion on the Greg Hardy. You know, they came with the arbitrator and with his appeal process, and they was able to knock the games down, to suspension from down to 10 games to 4 games. Yeah. And Perry predicted that. You know,
that was it. Perry hit the bullseye with that one. I wish we had that for I told you so. Look, this is one of those, that Greg Hardy situation, and really the Ray Rice situation. Roger Goodell's mishandling of that, and everybody makes mistakes, but that set off a domino effect to where Goodell could not get any right answers going forward. And this is a situation with Greg Hardy where Mr. Goodell really could not get a right answer, because if he had stuck with frankly, if he had stuck with his traditional shoot first, ask questions later approach, and suspended Hardy for 4 games last year just when the arrest came out, this would have been over and done with. But instead, they took this draconian stance where he'd suspend people with play until the case was resolved. Well, Hardy missed almost the entire season last year, but got paid for it. I think this was an attempt to balance the books, but at the same time, as bad as this was, first of all, he wasn't convicted, and of course that doesn't matter. Perception's reality. I get that, but then he's missed an entire season of his playing career, and paid or not, you can only at a certain point, enough is enough for keeping this man off the field. So I think it's unfair as far as trying to teach a lesson about domestic violence. This man got paid for the whole season, is only going to get 4 games. At the same token, it's unfair that he had to sit the season and has to sit out any further, so there are no winners in this. That bungling of the Ray Rice case from the beginning, where he only got the 2 games and then it blew up in his face when the video came out, I think, Piper, this set off a domino effect where he couldn't get anything right. There was no right answer, no matter what he did going forward. I hope he regroups and reorganizes and has a more cohesive, consistent policy going forward with these situations, because this has been an ugly last 12 months for the NFL, which normally dominates all things, not just sports media, but all things television.
Yes, indeed, man. It's really, the NFL is kind of, man, they had a rocky year last year. And on top of that, with the Tom Brady, with the Deflategate.
Oh, that's coming.
And that's coming. So we should be getting a decision on that. And I'm very interested to see how that plays out. Roger Goodell has really been on the hot seat here.
Oh man, Roger Goodell. We know when one of the callers we had last year on a completely unrelated issue gave a good analogy. Roger Goodell is surrounded by fire wearing gasoline draws. You know, he is on the hot seat, to say the least.
Yes, he is. But on another NFL note, I want to give a rest in paradise to my man Ken, the Snake Stabler, man.
Kenny Stabler. Oh, yeah. Former. I mean, of course, everyone remembers him for the Raiders.
Right.
You're a little older than me, so I know you remember him with the Raiders.
Right.
I remember him best with the Saints.
Right.
And the little bit of hope the Saints had prior to the Jim Moore era. Kenny the Snake Stabler was a part of that. So funny, Piper. I was watching, the NFL yearbook videos, and John Facenda used to do that until he died in 1984. The very last one he did for the Saints was called A Little Bit More in '84. It was about the '83 Saints. Got all the way to the last game of the season, and the Rams kicked the field goal, knocked the Saints out of the playoffs, and Kenny Stabler was the starter that year. On Thursday night, I was watching that video in the gym while I was doing my cardio, and then I got up Friday morning, and someone put the paper on my desk, and I saw that Ken Stabler died. I thought, what are the odds of that?
Right.
Watching something about a season so obscure long ago, I was just kind of surfing, and I hadn't thought about Kenny Stabler in a long time, and then, found out Friday morning he had died from colon cancer. Man, the Snake was one of those guys. He was a borderline Hall of Famer. I think his turnovers probably kept him out of the Hall of Fame, but when he wasn't throwing interceptions, he was a very accurate quarterback. Short and medium range, he was a snake. I mean, he didn't miss. And, great quarterback. I think one of the underrated players in history, from what I've heard, one of the good guys in the history of the NFL.
I think so too, man. And I just remember him from always making the big plays, and that's what they call him, the Snake. He was able to get out of tackles, and he was one of the first southpaws, left-handed quarterbacks that
they didn't have a lot.
They didn't have a lot, and he was one of the first ones I've seen. And actually, that was a star. I was young at the time, but hey, and they was the Raiders.
The Raiders.
And he was the poster boy for the Raiders. I mean, it seemed like to me that he went with that team. He lived that team, and also having a minority coach at the time,
Tom Flores. Yep.
And I think he has some type of Native American in him.
Looking at him, it wouldn't surprise me. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, Ken Stabler. Yeah, I believe that. You look at his facial features and his hair and his nose.
And right.
I believe it.
Tell he has something. I was
a little Indian in him.
Tom Flores talking about it. Right, a little in him. So, but man, I just want to give a rest in paradise to Ken Stabler. And hopefully he gets into the Hall of Fame.
I hope so. I like to see it. Like I said, if you take the interceptions away, it's a slam dunk. He was a former MVP of the league that won a Super Bowl. You'd think is a slam dunk. He just, he coughed up the ball a lot, but it was a different time. You could take more risks. But we're getting off topic a little bit there. But yeah, I was definitely sad to see that Ken Stabler dead at the age of 69. Finally, we got to give a big props to the United States women's national soccer team. They won the 2015 World Cup over the Japanese.
Yeah, man.
Blew them to pieces, 5-2. Carly Lloyd recorded a hat trick within the first 16 minutes of the game, if I recall. The U.S. women's team was up 4-0.
Yeah.
Strike that 4-1. Carly Lloyd recorded a hat trick. They just watching that game, they just out-physicaled, outran, outplayed, and outcoached the Japanese. Defense was a little touchy, but when you jump up 3-0, you can get a little sloppy on defense. Hope Solo was her usual dominant self. She did not win the Golden Ball Award. That, in fact, went to Carly Lloyd with the hat trick, but great effort. I tell you, the U.S. women's soccer team is it's dominant. They had a ticker tape parade in New York. It was the first time they had done that for a women's athletic team. Very well deserved. There are I'm not a big soccer fan, but I always am entertained by the international events, and I know some of the younger people start following, FC Madrid and Arsenal and all those people in Europe and MLS. I mean, I do get the appeal. It can be fun to watch. The men need to catch up, man. The men need to catch up to the women, because the men just shoot. So big props to the ladies. Great job, Team USA. Big props to an American woman, Serena Williams, completing the Serena Slam, her 4th consecutive Grand Slam tournament. And I guess we're coming to the end of our journey again this week, folks.
Yes, indeed, man. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Louisiana All American Sports Show. Be sure to tune in next week. We're going to have another hot show for you. And also look us up on Facebook and like our page. And like we said, coming up next is going to be Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction. And I just want to give a shout out to all the listeners out there.
Coach Perry Daniels. And have a good afternoon.
Peace.
Hail to the king and lords of lords. May he protect us from the evil. Hail to the king, lords of lords. May he protect us from evil.